All right, at this point, we'd like to open the forum up for any questions that you may have. You are able to use your microphone, or you can type your questions on the software user interface where you can ask a question, or you can also raise your hand by clicking on the little hand icon. So if you have any questions right now regarding what Mr. Cohen has been talking about, feel free to. Any questions? Go ahead, Mark. No questions at this
Okay,
moment.
well, let's go on, and we can go on. If people have questions, they can interrupt. It's not a problem. Okay, so from here, we're going to go look at elements of these three categories of development that you could work with directly.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark. There's a question. Robert Bresnan has a question. Robert? Robert, you there? Robert?
Oh, my question was, how can you seem to be taking a wide stance compared to what I'm used to taking. I was wondering how one can tell how wide of a stance is appropriate.
Okay, then in stances, we have basically three widths. One width is the width of the hips, the other width is the width of the shoulders, and the other width is narrower than the hips of than the hip width. In particularly in this channel here, I'm actually standing with in this thing that you're seeing now. The heels are turned inside the width of the hip, so this is what we would call a tall or a narrow stance. Then you can have the wider martial arts stance, which is at the shoulder width, which tends to pull the tissue apart and is very good for healing and everything, but you have to be careful with that. And then you have what we could call the universal matrix. Let me go to something here at the very end of this. I'm going to pass through these pictures real quick here to get you what I want to show you right here. Okay, so here's a narrow width here, and this is used, as you can see, for advanced cultivation here. So what you're looking for is the outsides of the feet to be in line with the outsides of the hip, and that's what we call hip width. Now, these are slightly narrower than that. Then you have, as I say, what you're looking for, it depends what you're trying to do, Robert. If you're trying martial art or you're trying to healing, so which of those are you looking at?
Well, I'd like to know it for both, because I do it for both.
Okay, okay. Then for martial art, you want the wider stance. You want the shoulder width stance. It's going to pull the tissues apart. It's going to give you quicker flexibility, deep flexibility in these deep muscles that you're looking for. For healing, the universal matrix is best, and that is the stance which is roughly the superior iliac crest, the top of your hip bone in front, is straight line to the center of the kneecap, hating point, and straight line down through the center between the two tendons in the feet. In the book, there's a lot of there's pictures of all these stances in detail so that you can see exactly. Those are the basic three widths. Now, there's some stances that are way longer and stuff like that, advanced stances that can be done as well. But for basic cultivation, you have the martial arts stance at shoulder width. That means the outsides of the feet and the legs are at shoulder width. And then you have the healing stance where those are right in line with the hip. And then you have the more advanced stance as you're looking at here, which requires you to be more vertically elongated. There is something that we could talk about. With the martial arts stance, because it is wider, you aren't able to get as tall. So you're going to give, the wider we go, we sacrifice verticality. The narrower we go, we sacrifice the laterality. So you want to be able to choose those postures. Now, you can use the wider posture for healing as well, depending what you're trying to heal. See? Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. That's very helpful.
Thank you.